Will you still be strong when the desert tests your courage? Hazrat Saadi asked the young guard as they trudged along the lonely road from Balkh to Bamyan. The young man, proud and powerful, gave him a sideways grin, flexing his muscles as if the world needed a constant reminder of his strength. He carried himself like a hero in a fable, ready to prove his might at every turn. When they passed a wall, he struck it down. When they encountered a tree, he uprooted it without a second thought. He seemed fearless, invincible, at least when the challenges were stationary. But the desert was vast, and its trials often hid in shadows. After many miles, they reached an empty stretch of road, so quiet that even the wind seemed hesitant to disturb the stillness. Suddenly, from behind a cluster of rocks, emerged a group of robbers, their eyes hungry for valuables, and their knives glinting in the sun. One of the bandits sneered, "Young man, here's your chance. Show us what you're made of." The guard, who had spent every step proving his strength, stood frozen. His hand fumbled, reaching for his sword, but fear had already paralyzed his fingers. The bow he carried slipped from his grasp, clattering uselessly to the ground. Hazrat Saadi saw the truth in that moment. Strength was not about muscles, nor the bravado one paraded when the path was clear. It was about the heart that could steady itself in the storm. He knew they were in trouble, and without hesitating, Saadi stepped forward, his gaze calm but firm. He handed over his bag to the robbers. "Take what you need," he said, his voice composed. "Take it all, but let us pass." The robbers, momentarily confused by the simplicity of his words, took the belongings and disappeared into the sands without harming them. Saadi and the trembling guard continued their journey, the once arrogant young man now strangely silent, his shoulders slumped. Saadi turned to him with a gentle smile. "The desert always tests us," he said. "It is easy to talk of courage and success when the challenges are distant, hypothetical. But when the moment arrives, that is when true character is revealed. It's not the strength of the body that shapes a true hero. It is the strength of the heart and the wisdom that grows from facing real trials." The young god swallowed his pride, his face flushed with shame. The silence that followed was heavy but needed, a space for reflection that the desert itself seemed to offer. As they reached the end of their journey, Saadi looked at the young man, who now walked with less swagger, but with a greater understanding. "Will you still be strong when the desert tests your courage?" He repeated the question from their journey's start, his eyes searching the young man's. The guard looked up, his voice quieter but more genuine. "I hope to be, one day." Saadi nodded, satisfied. True strength is not in speaking of success from the comfort of safety, but in standing firm when the storm is upon you. The heart, not the muscle, is where true courage lives, he said, his words echoing through the empty landscape, carrying with them the lesson the young man would take to heart for the rest of his life.